So now that we know that, there are going to be a couple methods here that you can use. I'm just going to walk through them briefly. So we talked about create. The other ones are going to be find. So I can say student, my autocomplete is nuts, student.find. And I have autocomplete set up here on VS Code, but you can see there's just like tons of methods here. The ones that are going to be very important to you are just going to be find, which gives you back a list of things. And you can put whatever properties you want to filter in on here, right? So if I wanted to find by first name, I would just say find by first name and whatever the first name was. And then it would try to find it. And that's going to give you a list. Another one would be student dot find by ID, which exactly what it sounds like. You give it an ID and it'll find the one student by that ID. So if I had an ID here, I could type that in here, and then I would get back just one student with the ID if it exists. Mongo doesn't throw errors if things don't exist. It just returns null. So if it's not there, it was just like, no, not there. It's not going to break. Other helpful ones that you will be using will be student dot find by ID, and then like from there you can do delete, remove, update, pretty much all the CRUD operations, and they're all pretty much the same. So if I wanted to do find by ID and update, I pass in the ID as the first parameter, so like any ID here, and then I pass what I want to have for an update, and then if it finds it, it'll push this object on to update it. So these are just like basic CRUD methods. But Mongoose has like so many of these methods. It's ridiculous. And they keep changing them all the time. And you can make your own. But these are just the basic ones. So I'm just going to just label these. Make sure that code's good. Any questions on these queries? Yes, Mark.
In the find, is there a wild card like in SQL?
Ooh. Yes. If you want to do a wild card like give me everything, which you should not, then you just put an empty object. That's the wild card. It's like just give me everything. Just match everything. So you just put an empty object there. That's going to do a whole collection scan. That's going to scan your entire database. Well, I guess technically it wouldn't scan it because it's going to just drop the whole collection. But yeah, you'll probably just crash your server if you had a couple 100,000 records or something. So yeah, just be careful with that. But yeah, that's how you would do that.
And textual is also textual wildcards part of.
That's called a text index on a search. We probably won't get to that today because it's pretty advanced. But yes, you can set up an index on text so you can search within text. Like give me something that starts with F, and that's a text index. But that's pretty advanced.
Because that's not very common, probably.
Yeah. Well,
for search, honestly, we have searches.
Right. There's better tools for search than Mongo. Like it searches, but no. No. Yeah.
Does MongoDB have like default timestamps, like upon?
You guys asked like literally some of the best questions ever. By default, no. But just to show you so we can get to this exercise, you can pass a second option to schema here, and you can put timestamps true, and that'll put a created at and updated at timestamp for you.
So Mongoose does that. MongoDB doesn't have that.
Mongoose is doing this for us, yeah. Actually, Mongo probably supports it now that I'm thinking about it. They might support this as well, and if so, Mongoose will pass it straight to them. But both of those libraries are in such a flux right now because there's actually just a huge major release of Mongo version 4, which released Mongoose version 5. So there's so many like deprecated things that's happening right now. So it's really hard to tell which one's doing which now. And if you look at their GitHub issues, there's just tons of like, what the hell is going on? So that's what's happening.